Hey, it's Evan from Lux BMX. We're back with another Frequently Asked Friday. It's just going to go through a couple of questions that we've had recently that we wanted to answer. So the first one is about jams and kind of hosting your own jams, doing your own jams. I guess we get a lot of people that sort of want to do it and they're not quite sure exactly how to execute. The best thing about having a jam and doing something for your local scene or in your local scene is just having fun, you know. It doesn't have to be any more than that. You look at, you know, whether it's just a couple of mates at the skate park doing something, or, you know, you got a rad spot you wanted to hit up, you know, or having something as big as the Vans Pro Cup. Like, you know, it's all about having fun and basically, you know, being on your bike and being part of the community in that way. So it doesn't necessarily even have to have you know, massive prizes or anything like that. It's just, you know, essentially the goal is to kind of get out there and you know, build these connections with people that you have in your community and do things and you know, get people as psyched as they can. So if you're wanting to do one, you know, and you've got the spot, it could be a local skate park, you know, set a date, do up a flyer. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy, just, you know, basically get people aware of what's going on. You don't even necessarily have to go crazy and build anything, but, you know, it depends on your circumstances. But by all means, you know, hit us up if you guys need a hand with anything like that. You know, we're more than happy to get involved and you know, send people your way if we can. If you're local to us, then yeah, certainly, you know, the guys we can all get down there and help. Yeah, it's that simple to be able to do something, and that's what makes it fun. You know, like, it's rewarding. You just kind of basically, you know, put it out there and you know, if you get 10 people show up or 20 people show up or 50 people show up, you know, it's so rewarding that, you know, that you've been a massive part of that. But yeah, it could be for any reason. We've had I guess, you know, obviously along the time we've had you know, different fundraising jams and things like that, which have been a really good thing for the community. You know, different events which have been, you know, really targeted at trying to do some goodwill. And that's always fun. You know, it's always great to be able to have that opportunity to be able to do that, to give back to people, and you know, that's really rewarding. So, but yeah, you know, just do it. Essentially, it's a DIY. You know, do it yourself. It's what it's about. So cool. So the next question we get asked quite a bit is basically, why does my bike ghost pedal, or why do my cranks ghost pedal? Ghost pedaling is essentially if you're wheeling the bike along and the pedals are pedaling on their own. Now, essentially that indicates there's a relationship between the driver and the hub body, or the hub, which is obviously being affected, and there's potentially drag there. So when the wheel is spinning, it's catching the inside of the driver, or it's affecting the driver in a certain way that makes it want to move. They should be kind of, you know, it should be isolated between your driver and your hub body. It shouldn't really move like that. So I guess if we think about things like, say, a cassette hub, for instance, most of the time when you get a ghost pedaling, you know, with a cassette hub, it can be the inner face of the cassette body, or the driver, rubbing against the hub body. So there could be an issue there that there's not the correct spacing between those two components. One of the really common things we saw a couple of years ago when everyone was chasing really loud hubs was either putting more pressure on the springs, so bending the springs out a bit more to make them more positive and make your pawls engage more positively, or even adding two springs, double springing your cassette hubs. Yeah, obviously that creates a lot more drag on the pawl mechanism, or the pawl itself, which in turn causes the driver to spin with the hub body at the same time. So you get that really loud sound, but yeah, obviously there's a lot more drag there, and it causes it to spin. Unfortunately, this causes a lot of people to you know, want to stop their cranks from spinning when they take their feet off the pedals, and so they took the spaces out from in between their bottom bracket bearings, which is creating another problem again. So, but yeah, you really need to look at the relationship between the driver and the hub body and work out what's going there. You know, keeping things clean certainly helps. If you get grit, any kind of, you know, contaminants or foreign particles in there, that's going to cause drag as well. Yeah, so keeping a clean setup is a really good one. Sweet. So yeah, obviously race bikes as well. Onyx hubs, you know, you can, so they work a little bit differently, or a Sprag clutch type hub with a one-way bearing. Generally, if you see ghost pedaling in those kind of setups, they don't have a pull mechanism, but it's to do with preloading the whole hub, or the preloading the axle too much. So if you are preloading it too much, it's going to pull the driver or the hub shell into the cassette body, and then that's going to cause it to have drag there. So generally backing that off, you know, or at least assessing what's going on, having a closer look to see if there's any issue there. That's something that you need to look at. So, but yeah, essentially the theory is the same. It's the relationship between the cassette body and the hub body. Yeah, so free coasters, so yeah, you don't have the relationship between the engagement mechanism to the hub shell like you do with a cassette hub, but generally ghost pedaling on a free coaster is an indication that there's too much load between the drive side hub shell bearing and the driver itself. So it could be a case of, yeah, your axle preload is too much. You'll probably find though that the wheel doesn't spin very freely anyway, and rolls quite slow. But yeah, it'll cause the driver to go with the hub body. So you could have cases where the clutch itself is still catching on the inside of the hub shell, but you'd probably find at that stage that the rest of the functionality on the hub doesn't work. So you're not getting the gap that you need or the slack that you need to be able to, you know, coast backwards and disengage that easily. So yeah, so that's sort of a bit of a basic rundown. But yeah, if you have any questions in regards to ghost pedaling specifically to your hub, just certainly hit us up. You know, there's more often than not, it's a relatively easy fix. So you've just got to isolate exactly where the issue lies. Another question we get quite often is, yeah, why do my pedals fall off? Generally, the simple answer for this is maintenance. So just checking your bike every now and then, you know, or every ride, just giving everything a bit of a feel. Your pedals definitely, and we've kind of covered this in other topics, but your pedals certainly should have grease on the threads when you're screwing them in. It's going to help with tightening them up. But yeah, just checking them every now and then. You need a good spanner or pedal spanner to tighten them up adequately. They need to be tight. But yeah, it's just a case of checking them over. We get a lot of guys that will just be riding around and like, oh, my bike feels funny, and the pedals are hanging on by 2 threads, and by that stage the thread in the crank arm's probably damaged. Unfortunately, the cranks generally cop it more than the pedals themselves. So the threads on the pedals are generally a lot stronger than the pedals, the threads in the crank arms. Yeah, so yeah, if you have any questions with that, certainly hit us up. It's a pretty straightforward thing. You know, we can repair some threads in cranks, so you can get taps and you know, left and right hand taps to be able to chase threads out, so to be able to clean out threads in crank arms. But yeah, you really don't want to be doing that. Once that thread's compromised, it's not a good thing. So just a bit of basic maintenance, just checking it over, you know, feeling for it. So that's basically it for this week's Frequently Asked Fridays. Yeah, if you have any questions at all, hit us up in the comments or hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, email, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're more than happy to go through any questions that we get asked, and yeah, the more the better. There's no stupid questions. You know, there's so many different things to learn. So yeah, happy to help you out. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Cheers.